In this video, I'm going to share with you everything that I've learned about land investing in the last 5 years. And after millions of dollars personally made for myself, I've learned a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've fallen forward, fallen flat on my face. It's been a journey, but that journey has been well worth it. It has allowed me to take care of my family. It has allowed me to invest extremely well, and it has allowed me to live a very, 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 very good life. First things first is that if you don't have persistence when it comes to this business, you might as well just do something else. But ultimately, if you don't have persistence to learn a skill and master a skill in anything, well, then I don't really know what to tell you. You honestly should probably just get a job. And I think people hear persistence and they're like, oh, well, all I have to do is 5 days or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. No. This is day in and day out every day. It's like you scratching your eyes sometimes to figure out how to master this skill. And the only way really to do it is just by practicing. When I talk about persistence as well, it's also knowing that you're going to have some deals that are just hairy and you're just going to have to solve the problems on those deals. This happens all the time. I had a client literally yesterday telling me that he has a deal where he's about to make $100,000 on that he was originally going to quit on, that I told him not to quit on because I've done a deal like that before. I've done a few deals like that before and made hundreds of thousands of dollars on deals just like the deal that he was showing me. And he was like, I don't know, I think I'm just going to give up on this deal. I don't really, it's just a lot of problems with it. I got to get an easement. I have to do this. I have to do that. I told him exactly what to do. He texted me yesterday saying he closed the deal and he thanked me for it. When it comes to persistence, you have to be persistent in this business. You're going to have to get 5 sellers to sign a deed one day. You're going to have to call a seller 20 times. You're going to have to get hung up on. You're not going to know how to speak to people all the time. It's going to be hard to send those text messages. It's going to be hard to send those mailers. You're going to see your bank account draining. You're going to see money coming out of your bank account and money not going into your bank account for the first few months. This is going to happen. If you expect to get rich quick, well, then that's not going to happen. And the problem is you have been conditioned to believe that what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to build wealth is by going into someone else's job. They had to create a business. They had to be persistent with that business. They had to figure out how to give other people jobs so they can pay you consistently. They had to do that themselves. So if you want a similar kind of wealth, what makes you think you don't have to do that? This is what you must understand if you want to get to a multi-7-figure level in this business. Me, for example, I had to sit at my desk in a room much, much smaller than this room for a couple years straight, day in and day out, to make sure that I could provide other people with jobs comfortably. I had to build systems around every single part of my business to where my payroll is in the tens of thousands of dollars. My payroll is in the tens of thousands of dollars a month now. I'm paying multiple people very good salaries, but it's all because I sat down and I was persistent on the skills that it would take to get there. So if you think that you can just sit for a week or a couple days and then it's just going to work out for you, you're going to hit the lottery, you are wrong. So it does take an inherent amount of persistence. The other thing too is your level of focus. What do you have in your life that is cutting out your focus? Who do you have around you that's not allowing you to focus on your business to the point where you can get to where you want to go? Because I assure you, if you allow this business to take you to great heights, it will. But only if you allow it to. Only if you let it happen. There are so many people that don't want it. It's like you don't want it. So you let all these exterior things, hey man, let's go out over here. Oh, hey, can you talk to me on the phone? Hey, can you do this? Oh, hey, can you do that? Like you can't be getting pulled in a million different directions. And this is what I've learned. I make so many different sacrifices for my goals. That's just how I am. I'm obsessed about my goals. I'm obsessed about where I'm going. I'm obsessed about where I am. I'm completely obsessed with improvement and making as much money as I possibly can. There's some guy out there worth $400 billion. Why can't I get to that level? What reason is there for me not to be at a level like that? In my mind, there's no reason. And so for me, what that means is all of my life energy has to go towards being the best man I can possibly be so I can get to the highest level I possibly can get to. And so your focus cannot be deterred by any means. You have to be able to have an inherent amount of focus on your goal and also just knowing what you want. So for me, I knew that I wanted to build a multi-7-figure land flipping business. I knew what I wanted. So any distraction, I didn't care. No distractions, 100% focus. Another thing I've learned is that getting a course without coaching most of the time is going to get your feet wet, but it's not going to give you enough to actually start and build the business. For 99% of the people, it won't, because most of the courses are outdated. I've taken courses where the information in those courses was literally from 6-7 years earlier. They're using completely different software than they're using now. It's just not the same. They're still showing you the what, but they're not showing you the how and the actual implementations of how, which is why I built LandVerse and I built my consulting services at LandVerse to be exactly what I would have wanted when I was coming up on my journey, because I spent tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars on coaching and courses, and there was only one that really took me to a point where I felt like I could scale my business. There was literally only one. And there was only one person that I felt like actually took their time with me at this particular time to the point where I could actually scale my business. That was integral in my success. If I didn't have someone to bounce ideas off of, if I didn't have people to talk to, if I didn't have a group, if I didn't have someone showing me what to do, how to do it, even when there were just problems with deals, like I would just have conversations with peers about deals, and still do to this day. I still have peers that I talk to every month about the land business and what they're doing in their business and how they're growing. And these are guys still also doing multi 7 figures a year in their business. So I have these conversations consistently, like, hey, what are you doing? How do you do this? Okay, well, I'm doing this with a mailer. Okay, great. What KPIs are you tracking? Okay, what is this? We're comparing. I wouldn't have even gotten to that level if I wouldn't have seeked out the education. So all these people are like, oh, I don't need any education. I'm just gonna go on YouTube. I'm gonna figure it out myself. I'm gonna bet on myself. You're losing. Every day, like I'm at the level I'm at, and I still have conversations about how to grow my business. I really don't need to grow my business anymore, but I still have conversations about how to grow my business. So if I'm doing that and you're lone wolf and you're just trying to like throw stuff at the wall and hope it sticks, I'm moving with strategy. I'm moving with intention. You're never ever gonna catch up earnings wise if that's what you want. You won't ever get to a multi 7 figure level just watching YouTube videos. It's not gonna happen. But one thing I will say is that most of these people, most of these courses, they do not have the implementation. Even in what I just mentioned, there were still cases in where you can't answer everything, because if you haven't been through everything, you can't answer everything. And so this is also on you as well as the operator. Sometimes you also have to learn how to go through things. You have to learn how to solve the problems as well, and use your coach, use your consultant as a guide to say, okay, I just want to make sure I'm not stepping on landmines. Because I'll tell you this, you paying for consulting and coaching to make sure that you don't step on landmines will actually save you hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Because I've asked questions before where it's been like, oh, don't do that, because I did that 2 years ago and I lost X amount of dollars. And now it's funny, it's full circle, because I have clients that come to me and they're like, hey, I'm dealing with this. And I'm like, do not do that, because it will lose you hundreds of thousands of dollars if you go that route. If you do this, this is what's going to happen. You know how I know? Because I did it. So you want to avoid all these landmines just to get to where you want to go. If you want to be a top 1% earner, that's what it's going to take. That's exactly why I created LandVerse. That's exactly why I consult with my clients the way I do, because the way I consult with them is exactly what I would have wanted when I started. I mean, the level of one-on-one attention that they get, the deep analysis of them as a person to make sure that they can be successful with what I'm teaching them as well. It's not just one size fits all. And I didn't create LandVerse to be one size fits all. And most programs out there, not even talking about land investing, most programs in general for information are just one size fits all programs. They're not customized to you. You can book a call if you want to do this. When I actually get on calls with clients, I'm actually analyzing how they learn, how they listen, how they pay attention to things, what they don't pay attention to, what kind of brain they have. So then I can give them a plan on what to do. And I can tell them, okay, this is exactly how you need to get to that goal you said and the goal you set out. Because the same way that Bob learns is not the same way that Sally is going to learn. And I understand this. So when it comes to actually teaching it and helping someone build a business that makes them multi 6 and multi 7 figures, I also have to understand why you want to do it and what you want. Because when I understand those things, I know how to help you to get to where you want a lot faster. And those are things that I would have wanted, because if I would have joined LandVerse when I was 21, I would have been multi millions within a year. If I would have had that direct attention and implementation, that's what would have happened. The other thing that I've learned as well is that you can't go anywhere in your business if you don't have strong brand perception. If you do not have a strong brand perception in your business and you're just one of these USA for land companies, you're not going to last. You need to focus on building a brand. If you can build a brand within your land investment firm, you will last for years and years to come, because what happens is sellers start to recognize you. We've had this happen on calls where sellers are like, I think I've seen you before. I think I've seen this before. I've seen this somewhere. Even if they haven't, the fact that we're paying such close attention to branding, it makes it familiarity thing where you trust us better. Business is all about trust, especially a business where you never see a person. You must think about this. Sellers do not see you in person, and they're going to sell you a multi 6-figure asset many a times. I've bought millions and millions of dollars in property, and I've never seen a person's face one time. We're talking about millions of dollars in property. Most of the time, that's considered like, that's crazy. If you were to tell someone that 30 years ago, that's crazy. You don't even like shake hands with anyone. You're not at the closing table together. That doesn't happen. Millions of dollars worth of property. So how do you do that? You must build trust. You must build a brand. You have to take care of people. And this is another thing I found is that when you take care of your sellers, when you pay close attention to how you're treating them, how you explain the process to them, how you onboard them into your process, the way that you follow up with them, the testimonials that you tell them, what are their problems? Do you actually take your time to understand this person's problem so that you can solve it? These are all things that I don't see people doing. These are things that will scale your business to hundreds of thousands of dollars a month if you allow it to. The other thing I learned too is scalability comes from not sending more mail, but sending more quality mail in the right places. So being targeted in the right areas. If I can do one deal that makes me $400,000, I would much rather do that. And I've done this many a times. I've done the deal that makes me multiple six figures in profit many, many times. And so I was able to compound my wealth so quickly because I learned that if I just continue to do these deals where I'm making 40 grand, 50 grand, 70 grand, 100 grand, 200 grand, so on and so forth, if I do those and I'm just compounding my money, boom, 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 doubling, tripling, quadrupling, it actually takes way more effort to do this little infill lot, this little $7,000 lot, this little $8,000 lot. And you're like, oh yeah, well, I do all this volume. It takes you so much more effort than it just takes me to do one deal. So all this running around and running and gunning that you're doing, all I did was one deal and I made $200,000. And then I built systems around that. So now we're doing these deals day in and day out. This is not luck. This isn't luck. When you do a big deal, I think in most people's mind, they think, well, if you made 100 grand or 200 grand, that must have been luck. But I've done this repeatedly over the past several years through up markets, through down markets, with the receipts to prove it. And you can go through my YouTube to see this. I've done this over and over and over and over again. That's what I learned. The big deal is so much better than the small deal. You can't be running around trying to do these little $5,000, $7,000, $10,000 deals. If you want to be a real deal maker, do larger deals. Do deals where you're going to make $20,000 or $30,000 or $40,000. And I'm not saying that not to take those deals, but if that's all you're aiming at, if you're just aiming at those smaller deals because you think that they're easier, they're absolutely not. The bigger deals will provide more leverage for you. The bigger deals will be 150K right here. I have so many students that are doing six-figure deals and multiple six-figure deals right now because this is what I teach them. So that's all they have to do. If you do one deal, you make 350 grand, you're making more than the average person on just one deal. And all you had to do was talk to a few people as opposed to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. And the other thing too is when you do the larger deal, the quality of the person is just so much higher, such a higher quality of person to deal with. It's more pleasurable. You're dealing with more sophisticated people. You deal with more sophisticated title company, more sophisticated brokers, more sophisticated everyone. The larger properties, we actually have way more offers on these larger properties than we do the smaller ones. Way more offers, and the offers are serious offers. And I've created bidding wars between these people. I've had several bidding wars on properties that I've sold for $300,000 and $400,000 though. I'm talking about a literal bidding war. And so when you position yourself as an upper echelon land investment firm, as opposed to just some flip and rip kind of dude, you're going to get deals like that done. You want to be the investment firm. You don't want to be the hustler. This is what I teach people to be. I teach people to be the investment firm that builds wealth, not the hustler that makes 5K here, 10K there, and doesn't really have a real business. So sticking to a strategy and following that strategy is one of the biggest things that I've learned. Not focusing on subdividing, not focusing on assigning contracts, not going from houses to apartment buildings to commercial to this to that, or to trading or to e-com or to like all these other things that you can do. Oh, maybe I can go be a copywriter. Maybe I can go do this. If you have chosen to do this and you want to do this, stop looking for everything else. If you want to go to a different business model, go to that, but focus on that too. I just focused on one strategy and I said, I'm going to get really, really, really good at this skill. I have had people tell me from other states, friends that I have in other states in land investment communities. My friends ask the people about me and they say, yeah, Femi's a legend in this space. I know that he's done a multitude of deals. That's what I wanted to be known for. If you're watching my videos right now, you go through all my videos and actually study everything I've said without even talking to me at all. Within a year, I guarantee your life will be better for it. That's what I wanted to be known as. I didn't focus on e-com or this or that or this or whatever it is. Be laser focused. And this goes back to what I was saying before. If you're going to commit to the business model, commit to it. You can't be getting the shiny object syndrome. It's not going to work. And you got to be willing to solve the problems. None of these business models are flashy once you actually do them. And I feel like so many people are looking for that quick hit, that quick thing of dopamine because you're so used to going on TikTok. You're so used to going on Instagram. You're so used to just ordering something and it comes to you right away. That's not how money works. Money comes once you focus on the skill. And the last thing I've learned is there will always come a point in where you don't have to put everything on your back anymore. I used to do this thing where I'll put everything on my back and it was just me. I got to do it. I got to do it by myself. It's all me. But then I realized the art of traction. Then I realized how to build a high performing team that can work without you, how to build people that trust your vision. And I realized how to pour into people. Years and years down the line, they're talking about how you changed their lives. I realized how to do this and I doubled down on it. When you do this, then it becomes extremely easy for you to print cash without you running the business. I've learned so many other things in the land investing business that I share with my clients at LandVerse. And if you want to be a part of LandVerse one-to-one or in our program, in our group at all, feel free to book a strategy call below and we'd be happy to help. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.